Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and thank all three of you for your very detailed written testimony. You use a lot of facts that I frequently refer to that clearly indicate it's not a matter of if, but when civilization will be threatened by an impact. Until the recent Russian impact, quite a few people thought those of us who were even aware of this or dared mention it were on the kooky side. And so one good thing about that is maybe a little bit of a wake-up call to reality for some people. Dr. Holdren, your testimony referred to the first ever exercise and deflection exercise. I wonder if you could just share a little bit with us about how that went.
I'm not the first ever deflection exercise was a kinetic impact on an asteroid of medium size, which, while interesting from the standpoint of the deflection it generated, did not reflect the magnitude of the capability you would need for a late notice deflection of an asteroid of threatening size. It was an interesting demonstration.
Okay.
One of the things I'd like to reinforce is that the President's proposal to land U.S. astronauts on an asteroid by 2025 will in fact exercise a number of the capabilities that would be necessary to have in our toolbox should an asteroid of threatening size be detected on a collision course. I would disagree with something Congresswoman Edwards said, that this is a lackadaisical program. I think it is a crucial program, and I think it is. I think it is going to lead to major advances in capabilities which are not just interesting to demonstrate at a small scale, but not enough to deal with a real threat.
Thank you. And I took her comment to mean she thought the approach to it might have been lackadaisical, not that it wasn't necessary in it, you know, for whatever.
For the record, I didn't say that word.
Okay. Now, the ranking member asked about protocol, you know, who's in charge, and we got about 3 or 4 minutes of chatter, but we never got an answer about who's in charge. And so rather than ask for a response, I would just like to recommend that the next time that y'all come before us, you give us a protocol and say, this is who's in charge here, here's in charge here, and here's in charge here. And it's just a very clear matter of protocol, who's in charge in various instances. You know, to just be preordained and pre-established. I know you're going to cooperate and, you know, get this stuff done if we have an impact, but, you know, a good segment of the population thinks it's just a matter of call Bruce Willis in, you know, and you know, notwithstanding we don't have a shuttle anymore, you know, that's impossible. But things that beg for an answer, you know, scary, of course, that we only know about 10% of the huge ones, threats, and we virtually have no idea of the small threats, like the one that went undetected, the recent impact in Russia. You know, what would we do if you detected even a small one, like the one that detonated in Russia, headed for New York City in 3 weeks? What would we do? Bend over and what?
No, Congressman, you know, that is, I don't. Again, I have to go back to what I said before. These are very rare events. From the information that we have on asteroids that we've discovered of all sizes, we don't know of one that will threaten the population of the United States, you know, in 3 weeks. And we are trying very diligently, as I said before, with the President's budget, to put ourselves in a position where we advance the technology such that 3 weeks will not be something that causes us to panic, because we will be able to respond. We are where we are today because you know, you all told us to do something, and between the administration and the Congress, the funding to do that did not, the bottom line is always, the funding did not come. And I don't care whose fault it is, or if it's anybody's fault. We all know what we're facing today, and we're all sitting here today as the Congress and the administration try to figure out sequestration, something that never should have happened, nobody planned to happen, but we're facing it today. And so the answer to you is, if it's coming in 3 weeks, pray. If we find that out right now, and that's not bad.
That's
not
reality.
Bad, that's not bad policy, though.
Yeah.
I'm a practicing Episcopalian, and I love what the Pope's doing right now. I'll tell you, that things have happened. You got to pray.
The upside, I guess, is that there's more public awareness now of the importance of space to the survival of our species, and it's not at some unknown point in the far distant future that we can't imagine. You know.
And sir, if I may, you say something that is so important. It would be very easy for this Congress and for the administration to say, okay, because we get the question all the time, why are we worried about exploring beyond low Earth orbit? Can't we just put that off for 5 or 10 years? The reason that I can't do anything in the next 3 weeks is because for decades we have put it off for the next 5 or 10 years. We don't have contractors who go away from doing their job, and then 5 years from now we call and say, okay, we want to build a rocket. They'll tell me with whom. We don't do that anymore. All those guys went over and they're now selling pizza. And I'm not being facetious when I say that, and I apologize. You cause me to lose my temper sometimes this is really important.
Yes, yes.
And it has to be continuous. The president has a plan, but that plan is incremental. And we can not like him, we can not agree with him, we can not do a lot of things. It is the best plan we have. And if we want to save the planet, because I think that's what we're talking about, then we have to get together, that side, and decide how we're going to execute that plan as expeditiously as possible. That's all I can tell you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Posey. The gentleman from California, Mr. Takano.